Do good, Maverico here. Welcome to podcast episode number 61. What would you do if you had a cash cow, a source of semi-passive income? A lot of people talk about passive income, and maybe in a lot of cases it can be unrealistic. But if you talk about semi-passive income, and if we define semi-passive income as something that requires about 1 to 15 hours per week of work and can generate a full-time income or even 5 to 6 figures in profit per month, and in some cases even more. If we define that as semi-passive income, it's even though it's not 100% fully passive income, it's still really fascinating to think about because it opens up for a lot of opportunities when it comes to lifestyle and what you can do. It's like a force multiplier that opens up a lot of opportunities. So yeah, that's really fascinating. And if we, these days a lot of people, they dream about being a multi-millionaire, which would be amazing, and it's also possible. But there's also a lot of things you can do without being a multi-millionaire that a lot of people think is kind of reserved for the multi-millionaires out there. But in many cases, there's actually, in some cases, there are actually people out there that are making 5 figures in profit per month, and they have a lifestyle that is actually better than a lot of multi-millionaires have. Of course, there are limits when you have 5 figures in profit per month compared to being a multi-millionaire, especially when it comes to things like how you can contribute and give, share, support people, stuff like that. But when it comes to especially selfish things like lifestyle and that kind of stuff, it's actually pretty fascinating what you can squeeze out of 5 figures in profit per month. I'm not an expert. I have not even achieved this myself. But the thing is, I'm in the process of interviewing a bunch of people. I mean, I'm interviewing at least 30 success stories of people that are running paid communities that are making at least $10,000 in profit per month. It's for my online education and community platform that I call Terrific 30. And the title of this book about these paid community success stories is Community Cash Cows. And so far, I've just interviewed a few of them. But even this early on during the interviews, it's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling when it comes to basically how quickly they built these paid communities in many of the cases, and also how passive or semi-passive it actually is, how few hours per week some of them are working. My goal is not to work only a few hours per week, but still I'm really fascinated by the concept of something being a source of semi-passive income. And yeah, I'm interviewing 30 people for a book, course, and community for Terrific 30. But yeah, just think about it. What could your life look like if you're making 5 figures in profit per month and it only required like somewhere in the range of 1, 2 to 15 hours per week of work? Let's say 15 hours per week of work. If something required 15 hours per week of work and you were making 5 figures in profit per month, maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 in profit per month, what would your life look like? Paid communities is trending these days, so there's actually a bunch of people out there doing it. Now it varies from a community to community owner when it comes to how much they are working on it. But there are people out there that are actually running paid communities as a source of semi-passive income. So it is possible. Of course, paid communities is not the only way to earn semi-passive income online, but it really is a fascinating business model because it's so few variables compared to a lot of other things out there. And it's a subscription business and it's trending. They say there's a saying, a rising tide lifts all boats. So it being a trend also helps, but it is a trend, but I don't think it's just a short-term fad. I think this is just the beginning, and I think paid communities really is something that is here to stay for a long time. One of the guys I interviewed, Jim Cockrum, he's running a paid community, and in the e-commerce space, he said something like that he thought that his paid community in the e-commerce space was probably one of the oldest paid communities on the entire internet. He has been in business for something like, was it 20 or 30 years? Something like 22 years, something like that. Over 2 decades in business. And his paid community has existed for, I'm not sure, but many years now. And I asked him, when it comes to paid communities, is this just a short-term fad or something that is truly here to stay? And his reply was like, we are just getting started. This trend of paid communities. So yeah, when a guy that has been in business in the online world for over 2 decades says something like that, that's quite a statement. So yeah, because when you see stuff like the Skool platform, it can kind of seem like just a fad, the way that kind of thing looks like. But when it comes to paid communities in general, yeah, I don't think it's just a short-term fad. So if you want to build a solid business online that provides a lot of value for the customers, the clients, the members, and you want a reliable source of recurring monthly income, a paid community might be a great idea. So yeah, my point is that it is possible. One guy I interviewed, he these days he works less than 4 hours per week and earning about 18,000 euros in profit per month. Both he and his friend, they were running the paid community together. So they were making like 18,000 euros in profit per month each. Now it was kind of in a period that he kind of chose to work this little. Earlier on, they were running more workshops and stuff like that, but for the last few months, he had only worked he said these days he was working less than 4 hours per week. So the 4-hour work week is possible as well. And these days his mom was sick, so he could help out his mom, getting her to hospital appointments, spending time with her, stuff like that. So for all of you guys out there that are kind of talking bad about anything that has to do with passive income, semi-passive income, there is a time and place for it. Hustle culture has taken off, but you can't always work 10 to 15 hours 10 to 15 hours per day. There are situations in life where that's not really feasible, and there are a lot of situations in life where people do it but they wish they did not have to do it. So yeah. But yeah, my point is also, what would your life look like, and what would you do if you had a source of semi-passive income? What would you do? You know, the freedom multiplier, as Tim Ferriss calls it in the 4-Hour Workweek, the 4 Ws. What if you could choose what to do, when to do it, where to do it, and with whom to do it? The 4 Ws, the freedom multiplier. What would you do? What would you do if you had time, income, and location independence? If you could make 5 figures in profit, and you could make it from anywhere, as long as you put in like 4 to 15 hours per week of work, you would be making 5 figures in profit per month. If that was the case, what would you do? And you could make it location independent. So as long as you had access to the internet, you could just bring your little MacBook Air laptop, open it up, and you could work from a small diner, a small diner by the roadside, from a tent up in the mountains, from a hammock on the beach, from the balcony on a cruise ship, from the seat up in an airplane, in the car, in an RV, at home, on the couch, on the bed. You know, what would you do? What would your life look like if your income was taken care of in that way? What opportunities would it open up for? What other things could you work on? Would you still be an employee as as an employee working for a boss? Would that still be the case for you? What would you be driving? Where would you be living? What would you be wearing? You know, oftentimes a lot of things that we tend to kind of think is kind of reserved for the multimillionaires out there. Oftentimes it's actually available, many of those things, especially if you don't look at just the materialistic things, but a lot of the things when it comes to freedom and lifestyle, stuff like that. There's actually a lot of things that are available with just 5 figures in profit per month. So yeah, kind of exciting to think about, because the dream of freedom might be closer than you think. You don't have to be a multi-millionaire to quit your job. Maybe that's obvious, but there's probably less obvious things out there as well that might be closer than you think. And in this modern world of the internet and AI, artificial intelligence, social media, stuff like that, things are changing fast. And once you get something to work, once you nail it, then you can scale it. One lady I interviewed, she launched a paid community, and she mainly used TikTok and YouTube, created and posted content just about every day. And at the end of month 2, she was making $14,000 per month. I think that was revenue, but that's probably over $10,000 in profit. But now she's making at least 6 figures in profit per month, because it's about 2 years ago that she launched. So yeah. Anyway, if you want to learn from those real life success stories of people that have built their own community cash cows, you know, paid communities, and are making at least $10,000 in profit per month, go to communitycashcows.com. That's communitycashcows.com. All right, take care and God bless.